Well, folks, viewers and listeners from different parts of Liberia and the world at large, would like to say it's a good day and welcome to this special interview with the representative of Grand Bassa Electoral District Number 5. He also chairs a committee on drought at the level of the House of Representatives, Honorable Thomas Alexander Goshua. Honorable Goshua, it's nice to have you here at this time. Welcome to this interview.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. It's a pleasure being here.
How has things been with you, and how was today's induction program?
Well, things have been relatively okay. Though there have been series of challenges, the impasse at the legislature, specifically the House of Representatives, that has affected not just the House of Representatives but the entire country. The government moving at a slow pace. It has had negative effect on the citizenry, my district being of no exception. Also, the issue of the county, you mentioned the induction of the superintendent. That is something that was very welcoming. Uh, uh, I'm a bit happy and excited because the superintendent induction today is like a milestone, not just for me as an individual, but for my district. The superintendent hail from Popa Statutory District that is an integral part of Electoral District 5, and he being a son from our place is something that is very welcoming, and so we were a bit excited, and we are hoping that with him at the helm of the leadership of the county, it will open up and bring the spotlight to our district. So this him being inducted today is something that we wholeheartedly welcome, and we are willing to work along with him to first administer the affairs of the county in Buchanan, but also bring to her attention some of the challenges that the people in Electoral District 5, specifically Port Bassa District, are plagued with, and so together to see how we can make positive impact in the lives of the people there.
Let me now come back to your district. Now that we have the county superintendent and you are the representative of ED5, what do you expect Grand Bassa County in general to be like in a couple of months, having a new superintendent being inducted into office, and specifically coming from your district?
Well, with the induction of the superintendent today, I don't expect a miracle to happen overnight. The superintendent is just as normal as a human being as every other person. He has his own faults and shortcoming, but with the zest that he has brought and his willingness to adapt to make positive growth and change, the lifestyle that he has lived, and a commitment to bringing development and improvement, something that have impacted him positively as a person and an individual. We believe that coming to work along with other people of like minds, he will be able to make a recommendation and will be able to make a change, no matter how little it will be. But I think it will be done in the right perspective that our county will be having to will be able to have some positive yield out of his leadership expertise.
So, with my knowledge, we found that the issue of a legislative project being reactivated. Let's hear you as lawmaker of Electoral District 5 Grand Bassa.
Okay, so in 2017 when I was contesting, the people of Electoral District 5 overwhelmingly told me the issue of health that they were faced with. There was no health center within the district. All the clinics were almost non-functional, and they were in hard to reach areas, and so that they said that we should be able to do a health center in the district. We earmarked Town. Unfortunately, during the 6th year of the last administration, we were not able to get any sort of funding for legislative project. And so the project was at a very slow pace, being an opposition figure, and people in the ruling establishment didn't want to work along with us, even though we were working under the umbrella of one government. but the issue of politics overshadowed the issue of governance in the country, and so we were not able to achieve the completion of the health center. But we started it, and we brought it as far as roof level. Now with this administration coming in and the issue of legislative project being brought back to the fore, after having discussion with citizens, we resubmitted the completion of that health facility to the list. As we speak currently, the work is being done. I think it is being roofed now. I'll be going to visit the site on tomorrow, but they have already completed the pieces of plank to form the roof. They have completed that, and so in the coming days, we are hoping to see more progress being made to have that health center completed.
How much is in it for the legislative project for the hospital you talk about? How much is in it for you?
So initially, the money that was placed in the budget was around 45,000. But after they went through the budget scrutiny and things, what Ministry of Finance remitted to the House of Representatives, each representative will be going away with 37,000, and that amount was placed into the contractor's account. And he signed the agreement with Liz. Matter of fact, he was the only person that bidded for that project when the bidding came up, and so he and Liz worked on it, and then the monies were placed to her account, and the work are commenced.
Great. Let's now look at the issue about the iron ore tailings. I guess you were in the hall today when the Minister of Internal Affairs spoke about it. You as a lawmaker from Grand Bassa, what is it you have to say about the iron ore tailings?
Well, I will first say, you know, man proposes, God disposes, and God does things in many mysterious ways. My intent was to come to Bassa after the induction of the superintendent, hold a press conference to provide clarity on the issue of the iron ore tailing as far as what are new and what concern us. But you know, the speculation out there, I remember Martin Colley, other uh, individuals on social media accusing the legislative caucus of conniving and receiving funds intended for tailings who signed a backdoor agreement. All sort of things were coming up. And so I thought, look, probably because people don't have the proper understanding of what has happened, I needed to go and provide the clarity, because as it was, it seemed as though elements were trying to put the lawmakers against the public. And we thought that we needed to provide the necessary clarity, because in my mind, I don't think anybody on the caucus now we want to do something to jeopardize the interests of the people of Bassa. We have struggled over a long period of time, and now that there is some semblance of hope, semblance of relief, nobody will want to get involved with such things. So my main intent was to see how we can provide a clarity concerning the tailings. I got to know of the tailings sometimes in 2018, and the former, I think he was a manager at the port, Bill Davis, the Unity Party former chairperson, he and I had a discussion, and he brought it up. I said, well, we can have this resource in the county, and then the county is struggling financially. And so we started to see how we could go about to create the necessary awareness, get the necessary pieces of information from the Ministry of Lands and Mines, and everywhere that we could get the information from that could be able to address and see how Bassa could benefit all of the cities. Unfortunately, to make long story short, the tailings were awarded to a company called Notre Dame. From the day that agreement was signed, it was something that we were not satisfied with. Me, and being a representative of the people of Electoral District 5 that also form part of the affected community within the tailings area, I was not so happy, because we have been pushing that whatever will be yielded from the sales of the tailings or the exploitation, the county should benefit no less than 10%. Unfortunately, people didn't listen, because we thought at the time if we get 10% of the sales of the tailings, it will monies out of that will have gone towards improving the Grand Bassa County new hospital. We have said that it should be constructed. The road leading from Grand Bassa that passes through electoral district number 4 that extends to Bond County and Nima County. That road through all the St. John Bridge will have been rehabilitated and improved. Also, the road that we're talking about now, the coastal highway, at the time will have also been included. After all those roads have been calculated, whatever amount that would have been left, the government at the time would say you can then give it to the county in bits and pieces so that they'll be able to do other infrastructure development. Unfortunately, all that we said at that time did not yield anything. So we ended up with a contract with Notre Dame that calls for the country being able to obtain a little over $2 million at the end of a 5-year period. And we thought that that was not a good deal. Fortunately for us, unfortunately for them, they acquired the licenses, and after 3 years, they could not do anything. And the county struggled for financial resources. Young people in the county could not get job or empowerment to do something for sustenance. And so when the time for review came, because within the agreement, we had a revision clause. After 3 years, we should go and review the MOU to make improvement and to make adjustments. And so when the revision time came, as a county, we thought that you people have held on to this thing. They are not ready to start business. They are just held on to it for no reason. And so we thought not to renew. And there were some challenges about the county administration at the time listened to the people, and it filed a cancellation, filed for cancellation of the MOU to the Second Judicial Circuit Court. That plea was heard, the case was made, and the cancellation was done through the court. So as I speak to you, Notre Dame has no memorandum of understanding with the people of Bassa. That have been done with through the court. We don't want their business. They have not shown any interest. They held onto our resources for 3 years without doing anything positive to impact the lives of the Bassa people. And so we thought that we were not going to go any further with them. They have taken the case to the Supreme Court. Well, the Supreme Court said, look, since the ministry canceled, the ministry also revoked their license. And according to them, they were not accorded due process. And so the court instructed that the Ministry of Mines and Energy accord Notre Dame due process. In order to do that, the revocation of the license had to be reinstated, because in order to accord some of the due process, they had to be active. So they had to reinstate their license to go through the processes. Fortunately for us, according to the mining law for Class B licenses, in order to obtain a Class B license, you must have a binding agreement with the community or the county. Based on that agreement, the minister will issue you your mining license for Class B operation. Now, Notre Dame cannot come back to Bassa and claiming to have any agreement, because we have cancelled that to the court, and like we said, they are not ready. They came under a scheme just to hurt and cheat the people of Bassa out of the resources. And so we don't want that agreement anymore. And so we're not going to renew that agreement. And so Minister of Mines and Energy should have come up with their findings and come up with a verdict through the hearing on yesterday to resubmit to the Supreme Court. And also, according to the ministry own policy, if they issue you a Class B license and you do nothing with it for 1 year, it is fall within their right to revoke that license. And was based upon that the ministry was able to revoke the license for Notre Dame after holding on to it for 3 years. But since the court had order, they had to accord them due process. Every side was listened to. We submitted the papers of the cancellation of the MOU that was done legally, and so that has been done with. Now, this news company that came in that we hear all over on the spotlight, the reason why I believe at one point in time, the late superintendent, Julia Bono, and her core officers at the local authority in the county got involved with this stealing process, and through their vetting, along with the county council, they made a recommendation to sign an agreement with this Steelford company. And based on that, the agreement was signed. But we told them, look, even in as much as you people want to follow the local government act that says the county authority and the county council have right to make certain decisions when it comes to expenditure. But even at the national level, when resources are being allocated through the national budget, it is taken to the legislature for ratification and approval. And so at the county level, resources have been realized, they have been found. And in order to do with it, it must be, we must have a say to witness what has been agreed upon. And when we went through the agreement, we saw some things that were not too favorable for the counties. And so we told them, look, these people, what they have proposed to you and what you have done, we think we'll be going back to the same thing with Notre Dame. So do X, Y, Z things. First thing, let's see how we can put it up for tender. And so when the notification was made for tendering, the Minister of Internal Affairs got to know about it. And so he called the superintendent at the time, Madam Bono, and they put a halt to the bidding process, the procurement process, until he has helped, had gotten some kind of understanding about the dealings. When he had gotten that, he, along with the local authority in the county, revised that memorandum of understanding. And when when it was brought to the attention of the caucus, we said, look, we don't want people that will hold on to the county resources. If our other ministry will clear them and we must sign the MOU that will be used as an instrument for the ministry to issue the people licenses, they must be able to make some payment to the county account as a show of guarantee that they are prepared and willing to start to do this daily operation. And so the idea was brought by the minister. It was enshrined within the memorandum of understanding. At that level, the county will have benefit. Initially, like I said, we were pushing for 10% of the negotiated portion that will come to the county. And through the negotiation, it was ended up that the county will get 8.25% of the total. And the number of metric tons of tailings that over there in its form and state as it is now is around 11 to 12 million metric tons. After the beneficiation, and we will have yielded 5 million metric tons or 62.5 grade iron ore that could be sold at the regular market price on the world market. And so with that calculation and the 5 million metric ton, Grand Bassa will have yielded approximately 30 to 40 million dollars out of that deal, as compared to a 2 million, a little over $2 million out of the deal with Notre Dame. Huge difference. It will have provided up to 200 initial jobs for Bassa citizens. It will have helped to grade the road within the Bacolin area. It will have brought improvement to the school and the clinic there. And so we thought that with all of those things being put into the memorandum of understanding and the additional 30 to 40 million dollars for the county, it was far better than what was signed by Notre Dame. And so the caucus, through our chairperson, after we took the vote, signed and witnessed the memorandum of understanding, and it was given back to the local authority. Whichever way that the money was to be paid as stipulated in the agreement, that how it will be expended, the caucus had already played a part, and those things that we wanted to see were already spelled out in it. And so one thing that was made clear, that after the signing of that memorandum of understanding, within 45 days, the company will have to remit $500,000 into the county's account. All those modalities will work out with the local authority in the county. The caucus is not a signatory to anything. The only thing we wanted to ensure that Grand Bassa County benefits of the resources, and we needed that surety or guarantee to make sure that these people were ready and able to start to exploit. Fortunately, we received a call from the local authority, the acting superintendent then, that Stephen had made contact and they were about to make deposit. Unfortunately, they could not make the 400,000 available. I mean, the 500,000. They were prepared to make the initial 400,000, and within 30 days, they will make the balance 100,000. I objected to it, but then the will of the people had to prevail, and so we said, okay, if like what is it, well, go ahead and do it, but at least it will be a surety for us. Also, while that was going on, because a Stephen license that they have is portion of where the tele is. It's not the entire place. And so the place that is now being investigated by the Ministry of Mines and Energy that were awarded to Notre Dame is still under investigation. So that part has not come out yet because the people still have the license to operate on that side. Many other persons have come up. And so the issue surrounding that side, it might have been some sort of controversy. But with Stilford, their own were being handled. And whatever issues that they have, because the Minister of Mines and Energy also has issue with them, and they needed to go and regularize the status with Mines and Energy. The caucus has nothing to do with it. So we just wanted to be sure that everything that came out of the deal was in the best interest of the county. Not a dime had been given to anybody of the caucus, as the news that was being spilled. But I see some people, citizens of Bassa, posting on Facebook that 400,000 was given, a lawmaker took it to go and sign a shitty deal. That has never happened. Their money is not. In fact, we even asked that 1 cent because at the time the money was being deposited, Caillou had already gone in for confirmation. So it was only wise that if money should be expended, it should be under the signature of the superintendent. So we said nothing should happen until the superintendent takes office. He meets with his local authority. They come out with a plan. In fact, that 500,000 initially that had been deposited, it should greatly affect the people in the affected communities. That is to make them aware to carry on some other projects whilst the people set up the equipment to start to mine the tailings and to ship out. It had nothing to do with what the county should be able to benefit out of the 8.25%. So that's just it. We just thought to provide that clarity. But unfortunately for us, the minister came and he said it. And so it was a relief for some of us that were sitting down that already understood that people were saying lawmakers have taken money, they have eaten it, and no information has come to the county. Thank God he said it. And I think by his statement we were vindicated, but we still remain steadfast that the county must benefit out of the resources and the people must decide on how the monies are spent.
Have you got the information that the remaining 100,000 is going to finance?
No, like I said, when the payment was made, and you can verify with the acting superintendent, I think doing a 10 over note, all those things will be spelled out to the superintendent, so we can verify from the superintendent. They said that within 30 days, the money was just deposited to the county account. I think 2-3 days back, it was placed into the county's account. So 30 days from that day, the money was deposited. The balance of 100,000 should be paid into the county's account to complete the 500,000.
And Goshua time is fast approaching, but go ahead.
Yeah. Goshua, I'm concerned about the health sector.
Yes.
Especially in a district where the former lawmaker built a health center and turned it over to the county authority. And a company in the area, they're using that facility now for dwelling place. What is your own take on that?
Well, we got to know about it, and that project was built under the legislative project, and so because we do not have all of the pieces of information available to us, we have communicated with Liz. They implemented that project. They will have all the documentation. I know Liz will not go to do a project on a private land. It had to be a land owned by the people or by government in order to do a people's project. And so when Liz shall have provided those pieces of information, and then we will make the requisite intervention as to see how the property can be turned over to the district. The intent was to use it as a clinic, but then a logging company that have absconded were the ones that are using that property. So when Liz come up with the requisite documents, we'll make the necessary intervention.
For the sake of time, is there any other thing you want to talk on that we did not ask?
Oh yeah, you know, I got a call from the district about individuals moving into the district, assuming authority and power unto themselves to effect arrest, beat on citizens. And we think that is not in the best interest of our people. They have complained on so many occasions, and we thought to come and provide the clarity now. I want to use this medium to appeal to Honorable Philip P. Such a decision that was taken based on a civil matter to instruct police officers to leave from Buchanan and go to the district to effect arrest of something that is very not essential, and brought the individual to Buchanan and to be placed behind bars. We are only saying that he should reconsider that tactics because taking people from Bassa that from Buchanan going into the district, where in fact there's another police station that there's something called territorial jurisdiction. And the fact that it occurred not far from the police station, he could have gone there, make a case, or even go to the magisterial court in the district and file a complaint because it's a civil matter. But to assume authority on himself, using the police as personal bodyguards to go into the district and arrest people, I just want to make that appeal to him that we should stop such behavior because it wouldn't augur well for anybody. What if there has something else had happened? Maybe the individual would have retaliated and then it would have caused problem for those police officers. In as much as they should not have done what they did, and I will be sending a caution. Also, I'll inform the county police commander that the next time a national police officer use a personal police guard for any individual, a civilian for that matter, that will go and take authority unto themselves, I will make a formal complaint of the county detachment to the Liberia National Police headquarters, and it will not be a good thing for anybody. We don't want that. We want to live in peace and harmony with everybody, and so we are just sending out that caveat and appealing to those that are involved that it should stop. It should not happen again. Whatever has happened, but going forward, let it not continue. It will not be a good thing.
Thank you, Sokanyi.
You're most welcome.